Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing another Armada fleet building video. This time we're going to be building a fleet for the Galactic Republic, and in a similar vein to the last two fleet building videos, we're going to just be using the materials available in the starter kit, and we're going to try to keep the build as simple as possible, just so that beginning players, people who haven't really played this game before, they don't get completely overwhelmed with all sorts of mechanics. So let's get started. We're again building a Galactic Republic fleet, so it's going to just use the acclimators and then the Consular class. Whoops. Well, that's the correct acclimator, so there we go. We're going to be using an acclimator 2, 1 to fill out points, because the other acclimator is slightly cheaper, but also this acclimator has a better dice pool than its counterpart. Here, I'll show you. Well, I guess, hold on. It'll make more sense if I just pull it up here. So if you see, we add a blue dice to the front, and that's really the only real difference. Also, the rear arc gets a blue dice instead of a black dice, but adding that blue dice to the front allows for you to throw more dice, which is always going to be better. So that's why we're going with the acclimator 2. We are also going to be doing 2 Consular class. We're going to do the C70, which, while it's the cheaper version, while it is the cheaper version, it does have red dice, which allows for more flexibility when flying these ships. And as this is a build for a new player, we are wanting to give them as much flexibility and ease of use as possible. So let's go ahead and choose our commander. The base game comes with 2 commanders. It comes with Bail Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I am a personal Obi-Wan stan. I absolutely love him.
Hello there.
So while a friendly ship is defending, when it spins a readied redirect token, it may reduce the total damage by 1 before it suffers damage. That's phenomenal. However, it's slightly more complex than the Bail Organa ability, which is the one that we will be using, which is when a friendly ship reveals a command, you may discard up to 1 token of each type from this card. For each token you discard, that ship gains 1 additional command dial matching the token's type. The token types are Nav and Engineering. Now, the thing about learning this game is you quickly learn that Nav and Engineering are going to keep your ships alive for a lot longer. And because this is a beginner playing, I think that focusing on a easy to use strategy that increases ship durability and survivability, that's where we're going to go. It also just allows for more flexibility when you reveal, let's say, a concentrate fire command, but really your ship is on the verge of death. This will allow you to also resolve an engineering command. So I think Bail Organa is going to be a solid choice for beginner fleets. I mean, I'm not saying Obi-Wan isn't phenomenal. I'm just saying, for a beginner, I think that Bail Organa is the way to go. All right, let's finish out the acclimator, and then we can move on to our consulars. We are going to fly Clone Captain Zack, who will allow you to add a dice to your attack pool. That's pretty much it. It's just increasing the firepower of the acclimator 2, which really, it's almost win more because the strength of the Republic is in their squadrons, but because we are limited to only 4 squadrons, thanks to being limited to the starter pack, I think Clone Captain Zack is the way to go, just to increase firepower that the Republic has at its disposal. Finally, we're going to go ahead and fly the Nevuta B, I don't know, the Nevuta B title, which whenever you resolve a squadron command, each non-unique squadron will gain Swarm, and then also you may reroll 1 dice when attacking a ship. So this is just a squadron buff. The Republic really focuses heavy on squads, at least in my experience. I don't know if that's a general meta, but from when I have played this game, the Republic's strength comes from their just phenomenal squads. We will go ahead and add those now, I suppose. The starter kit comes with, where is he? Comes with Axe, in his V19, and it comes with 3 other V19s, which we will go ahead and use. A V19, pretty solid squadron. It's got 5 hull, 3 speed. And then Axe, he throws a whole lot of dice, and before another friendly squadron at distance 1 suffers damage, you may spend defense tokens to reduce the total damage by 1. So Axe keeps his fellow squads alive for longer. He also has Swarm, which allows him to reroll dice when he is in a clump of other squads. And then the V19 Torrent Squadron, they have Escort and Swarm, meaning, again, they can reroll dice when they are attacking with other squads. This plays pretty well off the Navuta B, because each squadron with Swarm that you activate, they get to reroll 1 dice when attacking a ship. So it's going to make your V19s hit ships harder, which is really nice. Especially because you're probably going to be able to get a couple of shots off because these squadrons are super durable thanks to Axe's ability. Alright, let's work on the Consular Chargers and then we can finish out this build. Now, the Consular Chargers are quite maneuverable, quite fast, however, they lack serious hull, and so they're kind of on the... They're on the maneuverability is their strength kind of ticket. They're not trying to tank hits at all. They are trying to fly in, shoot, and then fly away before they get blown out of the sky. So, to help them do that, we're going to go ahead and give them some... Wait, where is it? Some clone navigation officers. In case you haven't figured out, I'm going to just clone the Consular Charger. There's going to be 2 of them. Just hold on. It'll happen. So a clone navigation officer, when you reveal a concentrate fire, a nav, or a fleet command, not a fleet, a squadron command, you can exhaust this card and give a copy of that token to a friendly ship at distance 1 to 5. So it will serve kind of as a support ship, handing out tokens to its fellows, but because there's going to be 2 of them, they can kind of hand the tokens between one another, and it will make it more maneuverable, it'll make it hit heavier, and if necessary, it can make the Consular into a... it can make it into a decent carrier. I mean, the Consular has a squadron value of 1, with a token, it can get up to 2. Not great, so I would mainly focus on using this for concentrate fires and for navigation, which is kind of the point. It's called a navigation officer. Use it for the navigation so that you can get the Consular out of the way. Beyond that, we're going to go ahead and boost its firepower a little bit with swivel-mounted batteries. Swivel-mounted batteries, they're a modification, which means there can only be 1 modification on a ship. Luckily, this is the only one we're dealing with. So it's going to increase firepower by taking dice out of adjacent hull zones and putting them into the attacking hull zone. So you get to, when you reveal a command, you're going to choose a hull zone on the Consular, and then you're going to put a token on that just to mark that hull zone. And whenever you attack out of that hull zone, you get to fire an extra dice that you take from an adjacent hull zone. And then, when you attack with the adjacent hull zones, you have to actually decrease the dice from that pool, which is not good, and I would say it's kind of bordering on the edge of almost too advanced of a card to give to a beginning player, but I think that I think it makes enough sense and it's simple enough that a beginner player can grasp it. So what I would end up probably doing is I would probably put a token on one of the side arcs, and then I'd take the blue out of the front and fire it from the side, or I'd take the blue from the... Because you're not really attacking out of the rear. I don't know. It would depend on the situation. Generally, I would probably try to boost the front if the front's facing a ship, or the sides if the sides are facing a ship. I mean, it's pretty simple to understand how you're going to want to use it. It's just a question of managing that token's location. So, we're going to go ahead and clone that ship. We're going to be flying 2 of those, and on one of them, we're going to put the rather excellent title of the Swift Return. And the Swift Return, during the Determine Course step, if you're a distance 1 to 2 of any obstacle, you can change your speed by 1 or increase your yaw value by 1. One thing that beginners struggle with a lot is learning to fly ships. All that the Swift Return really does is it increases the maneuverability of one of your Consulars so you don't end up smashing into an asteroid field or some space debris. So I think it's just a nice thing to have just in case that comes up, and increasing or decreasing your speed will help you. So that is the build. We've got an Acclimator 2 with Bail Organa and Clone Captain Zack, and that Acclimator is the Nevuto B. We have 2 Consular class CR-70s, both with Clone Navigation Officer and both with swivel-mounted batteries, and one of them is the Swift Return. And then we have 4 squads led by Axe, and then he's accompanied by 3 V-19 Torrents. Again, I recommend not flying with objectives on when you're teaching a player or the first couple of games that you play. Later on, go ahead and add them as you feel more comfortable flying and shooting. But if you just absolutely have to, I would recommend Most Wanted, and then Contested Outpost, and where is it? Dangerous Territory. These are, in my opinion, the 3 simplest for the 3 different types of objectives. Again, for a beginner, I recommend not playing with objectives and just learning to fly your ships well. But yeah, so here's the build. Again, I am no Armada expert. I probably got some rule wrong or something. But this isn't meant to be a competitive build. This is just meant to be a learning the ropes kind of thing. So I hope that you enjoy. If there's any suggestions on how to improve this build or other ideas for other beginner-friendly builds, I'd love to see them down in the comments. Until next time, cheers!